guys, this is the Meaty Men. I'm Keegan.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Lucas.
And this past weekend we went to Comic-Con.
Woo!
The first panel that we're going to talk about is zombies.
So this panel, we got a sneak peek of Black Ops 3 Zombies. They showed us a little bit of footage, what the map's going to look like, introduced us to the new characters, as well as where the story is going to pick up from the Black Ops 2 Zombies.
So some of the voice actors that are going to be in this new zombie game are Steve Bloom and Heather Graham.
And the new map that they're introducing takes place in the 30s and is set in New York. They have a bunch of different monsters that you can actually fight.
There are like these bug fly type things that you have to shoot. I would assume that comes every few rounds, kind of like the Hellhounds do in the other zombie games. There's also this boss monster, which looks pretty cool, but also looks like it's going to kill us.
There was also a new perk mechanism of some sort that, I don't know if it was all good things that can happen from it, but it's a gumball machine that you get a gumball and a random effect happens to you. A couple ones we saw where there was like an overkill mode where the person became like super enraged almost looking, and there was one where the character got like a bunch of tentacles and just like went around just like smashing shit.
There was one that made it so all the zombies surrounding you like blew up. That was pretty cool.
So just a couple new sort of perk things you can do that add a new element to the game where it previously was not.
And later that night, we actually got to do something that was quite unique, and we got to go to a party with the voice actors of Dragon Ball Z for the English dubs.
These guys over here got to meet Sean Schemmel, who plays Goku, Chris Sabat, who plays Vegeta, and Justin Cook, who plays Super Boo and Raditz, and who's also, I believe, one of the producers for Dragon Ball in the English version.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was hosted at a bar. They had a bunch of events and stuff going on there. We got to do ice Shenron shots, and we got an opportunity to play beer pong with Goku, which was pretty awesome. Probably one of the highlights of the whole trip for sure.
So the next day we got to go to the Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F panel, and it was pretty awesome. We got to see some exclusive footage that was pretty awesome. You want to tell them a little bit about that without giving anything away?
Without giving anything away?
Yeah. Maybe a little bit.
Alright, well, we got to see a scene from the movie when Frieza and Goku are fighting. You got Vegeta waiting down below, just impatiently as always, and he gets a little fed up with how long it's taking, so he intervenes, and it was quite a funny scene.
It was a really, really funny scene. I speak for all of us to say that it got us way more excited for the movie.
And I'm glad to know that wherever it's going is going to take kind of a humorous tone at parts, but still know when to be serious.
Yeah, it kind of looks like the new show and the movie and even Battle of Gods is taking a lot of elements from Dragon Ball and then combining that with the action of Dragon Ball Z and kind of...
Best of both worlds.
Yeah, best of both worlds, basically.
Another really cool thing the panel included was a Q&A with the voice actors. They did a great job of communicating with the audience, and even when we were waiting in line to go into the panel, the voice actor for Raditz, he actually came over and like talked to everyone who was waiting in line and thanked us for how long we probably had to wait there to get into that one, and that was really cool. They were also personable, and they truly looked like they were enjoying being there with the fans.
And actually at this Comic-Con we were introduced to a few exclusives, and we got this amazing Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F poster, a Vegeta pop head, and he's got his little scouter. Isn't that adorable?
We also got this exclusive Golden Frieza with the red eyes, which was only available at Comic-Con.
Earlier that day, we actually waited over 2 hours to get into Hall H, which is the biggest hall at Comic-Con, seating 6,000 people. But we didn't get in.
Have you ever been disappointed in the line? Waited hours and hours and didn't get in?
I have not, no.
Okay, so you're a pro. You're a pro then.
We're pretty good on time management.
At least I got interviewed by NBC's 7 News. A panel we did get into, though, was the Screen Junkies.
Live movie fights. Woo! So the movie fights were really, really awesome. They picked a lot of interesting yet sometimes fair matchups.
which you can see at the Screen Junkies movie channel.
So we also, after the movie fight, we got to meet some of the people that were in the actual fight. We got to meet Jeremy Johns, Chris Stuckman, as well as some of the members of Screen Junkies.
Yeah, they were really cool. They were down to earth and they weren't in any rush to get out of there.
No, they weren't. They stayed behind and let people take pictures with them and chatted it up, especially Jeremy Johns, who was just making jokes. And
Yeah, he was like, what am I going to do? Rush out of here and go home and play games on my phone?
it was one of the highlights of the trip.
And it was cool to see a few people that maybe don't normally get the kind of recognition that they do at Comic-Con. And they have so many followers that, you know, when they come to Comic-Con and see all the people that subscribe to them and talk to them and follow them on Twitter or Facebook or wherever, that they don't normally get in their everyday life.
Yeah, that's one of the great things about Comic-Con is you get to see a lot of people in and around the whole San Diego area that you wouldn't get to see in everyday life or really ever. You get to meet them, see them on the streets, sometimes in passing. Like while waiting outside for dinner on Friday night, we got a little nudge on our shoulder and we were like, who is that? And before we knew it, the whole Team Arrow had strolled right on by us on their way to some party, I'm sure.
I saw Luke from Modern Family. I ran into him at the restaurant we were eating at, which was pretty weird. I was totally unexpected.
And on our way home, we ran into Elijah Wood, who we actually said we were huge fans of Wilfred. And he kind of looked at us like, what?
Gave a
is
little
this?
chuckle. Probably doesn't hear that too often.
Yeah, he's probably more known for Lord of the Rings. And one of the biggest panels of the night that we were delighted to get to see was the Warner Brothers DC All Access TV panel.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. They just basically did a rundown of all the shows that they're going to be showing and premiering this year.
So there was Arrow, The Flash, Gotham, Supergirl.
And they did a little Q&A for each one. It was very, very rapid fire, though.
So we're going to rapid fire some things that we learned quickly about each so-off now. Arrow, we learned that it's going to take a lighter tone in Season 4.
They did clarify that it's not going to turn into a complete comedy or anything. So by lighter tone, they're going to gradually get into that. But it is going to become what we know from the comics more, so.
And he's going to be called the Green Arrow, and he's going to have a new suit.
Diggle gets a helmet.
And we know that Thea is taking the mantle of Speedy, replacing Arsenal as the next sidekick to the Green Arrow. Flash! We know that it's going to take place a few months after the events of the season finale that we recently witnessed.
He's regarded as a hero by the city, but he's not quite ready to take on that responsibility. It seems as if he's maybe afraid of it.
He doesn't necessarily feel that he was directly responsible for saving the city, since Eddie was the primary factor in which contributed to saving the city.
A couple more things that we're going to see in this upcoming season is Iris more involved in everything going on at Star Labs, and Caitlin Snow as Killer Frost.
As well as Cisco as Vibe.
And speaking of new characters that are going to be introduced, we now know that Zoom is going to be the prominent villain in Season 2 of Flash. And he's going to be faster than all of the characters that we've seen so far.
And the new season will also include both Jay Garrick and Wally West.
Yeah, they're introducing Earth 2. They said that very specifically in the panel. And I think that's where a lot of these characters are going to be coming from. So, for example, we might not see our Caitlin Snow as
Killer
Frost, but we might see Earth 2 Caitlin Snow as Killer Frost.
And another important thing to note is that Harrison Wells is also going to be back as Harrison Wells.
Yeah, and that's especially awesome because Tom Cavanaugh did such a great job as the Reverse Flash last season. And to have him back as a series regular is really great.
Gotham! We learned that it's going to become a little crazier in the sense that crime is going to be bigger and more extravagant.
We're going to learn a little bit more about Selena Kyle's background and her personal story because we didn't get as much of that in the previous season.
Also in the upcoming season, we're going to get more of a business-like relationship between Alfred and Bruce, where Alfred is sort of training him a little bit and not as sheltering towards him. And it's going to start off a little rocky still with some rough patches, but it's going to smooth out over the season.
And Barbara isn't going to get less crazy. And lastly, we saw the world premiere of Supergirl. we will talk about it in an upcoming review.
Alright guys, well I hope we gave you some insight into Comic-Con this year and some of the stuff you can look forward to in the upcoming seasons of shows and stuff going on in the world of entertainment. If you have anything else you'd like to say to us or a question that you'd like us to address, go ahead and leave it in the comments below. Hit subscribe and hit like, and that's it for the Media Men, signing off.
Subscribe!